So regardless of if you're an individual person with a hobby and a blog, or you're a big organization with a bunch of different people that you need to be able to give access to your website, there's normally a reason that you will need to add a user. When you try and add a user to your WordPress website, you'll be met with this screen here with really simple data fields: username, email, first name, last name, website, language, password, if you're going to send them an email to let them know that their account has been created, and the role they're going to have. Some people will be completely clueless on what role that you need to be providing of each user because you don't know the different permissions it enables. So I'm going to give you a little walkthrough of all the different options on the list. Let's go in hierarchy order. So first we have admin, which is basically you are the god of the website. You can do everything. You can click every button and no one can stop you from completing a certain objective if you are clicking the right option. I would advise not having too many admins because they say too many cooks in the kitchen, and also people are super protective of their websites. It's normally their baby, and it can be a bit awkward when the only admin is quite scared to make changes, so make sure that you are someone who is technologically comfortable with the functionality of the website. There's also a layer above it called super admin, but that only really applies to when you've got multiple websites under one big umbrella and you're messing around with a multi-site environment, so that's not really applicable to a lot of people. The option below admin is editor, and there's a lot of things they can do. They can create pretty much any post they want. They can edit other people's posts and tags and categories, and they can reshuffle existing content and create new content, but it doesn't really enable them to have say over everything, like adding new plugins, changing robots.txt. It's not normally the sort of stuff you do for that. They also don't have the power to add new users. Only the admin can do that, with the exception of people who can create their own logins, like subscribers, when you have the little login sign up form most websites have, but that is when the user is doing it themselves, not the editor. Then the next level down from that is author. They can create their own posts, they can write content as they wish, they can edit it, they can post it and publish it, they can edit their own tags and categories and any other data fields that you may have integrated into your post functionality on your website. They can add little blocks in the editor, but they cannot change the content of other people and other users. This is the one that I think is most helpful to a lot of people who need like help with their website but are sort of scared of allowing people to make changes without their permission. They don't want to like wake up one day and see the whole website's deleted. It's very unlikely that that's going to happen anyway, but this is probably the most useful for those sort of people, especially people who are trying to get a lot of content on their blog quickly, is the contributor role. So the idea of a contributor is they can create their own posts, they can edit their own posts, they can make as many tweaks as they like, but they cannot publish it themselves, and they cannot touch the content of other users, especially those of higher authority than them, but they can just change their own stuff. I will give you a warning for when you give people contributor access. They will get really confused because they will have a save draft button and then they will have a publish button, but they cannot actually publish anything. It's just when they click the publish button, then it turns into a submit for review button, which means anyone who has editor or higher control can then be alerted that their post is ready for publication, and they would like you to look at it and audit it and make sure it meets your standards before you then press the actual publish button. Naturally, people who know they shouldn't be publishing content will not want to click the publish button, and that can be like a bit of a weird hurdle, but you have to get through that. It's not actually publish, it's just telling us it's ready for publication. The lowest rung on the hierarchy ladder of WordPress is a subscriber. If someone wants to create a login on your website, then they will be automatically made into a subscriber via the sign up page. The only real function of a subscriber on a website is to be able to leave comments and view the content that's on the website. Maybe you've got restricted access to certain areas, and people who are subscribers can see behind that because they have given you their login information and possibly a means of contacting you in the future. Maybe to become a subscriber, you agree to sign up for an email list. I don't know, it's your website, your choice. I really think people don't comment enough on blogs anymore because we comment on social media. People will share content from the website on social media and then people will comment there. There is still a demographic in the world that don't really use social media, whether that's the people who are trying to disconnect or it's your 80-year-old grandma who just barely got to use Google and they're coming at it from an SEO standpoint and they're just landing on a blog page. People don't comment enough. I have actually made it on my website. You have to be able to log in order to comment because the only comments I was getting were from spam bots, and I don't want that on my website. It's trash and it doesn't really breed user engagement. But you know, I have a blog. Comments on my blog. Log in And leave me a comment on my blog because I guarantee you I will read it. The closest I get to proper comments on my content on my website is people leaving reviews on my products, which is technically a type of comment, but it's a review. It's not a community engagement kind of thing. It's not giving me feedback on the content I have created. It's not giving me opinions on what you like and what you don't like. It's just telling me if you got what you paid for, which is a nice little segue into Woocommerce roles. So if you have a shop integrated in your website, you'll probably have special roles associated with the shop. They do have equivalents, but they're only going to appear for people who have Woocommerce, for example. So a customer is essentially someone who has purchased from you. Maybe they have a way of getting a man in basket triggered because they've given you your email in the past, and it's basically the shop equivalent of a subscriber. Then you also have the shop manager role, where their responsibilities include being able to add products, edit product categories, edit product tags, add new stuff to the website, change the image gallery for an individual product. They're able to access order information to be able to fulfill orders on the back end when you actually go into like production, because not everyone like me has digital products. Sometimes you have to physically go in, make the thing, pack the box, say yes, we've sent it off now, it's with the shipping provider, it's on its way to you. That is stuff that a shop manager does, and that is basically the WooCommerce shop equivalent of an editor. They can even issue refunds, so I would only give that to a trusted person, to be honest, but you should only be giving permissions to people you trust entirely anyway, because your website is your baby and you don't want to break it. When you do have WooCommerce, administrators also get extra permissions, like, being able to set up all the WooCommerce settings, put in the billing information, put in the card information, the payment processors, but that's sort of just given when admins can do literally everything. I hope that information was beneficial to you and you feel a lot more comfortable allowing people access to your website in different formats now. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and leave me a comment on my website, because I will eventually be making this as a blog post on my website too when I get down the line to it. So leave me a comment, and goodbye.